What's up, my freedom fam? It is I, possibly your favorite libertarian, coming to you with part 2 of the 43X COA build series. If you have not yet watched part 1 or any of the other series at this point in the series, depending on when you're watching this, you can click up here or up here and there'll be the full playlist so you can check out everything we talked about in the previous video and maybe a video after this, depending on when you're watching it. In the previous video, we talked about all the pros and the cons of the stock 43X COA, and today we're going to be improving upon that particular original grip with this Grit Grips grip. Now, before we get too far in, I want to tell you what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about differences between these two lowers. So we're going to give you a close-up comparison of the two, and then we're going to give you shooting comparisons of the two, and then we're also going to be testing not only the OEM mag through the 10-rounder, but also the 15-round OEM mag with this Grit Grips lower as well. So stay tuned for that at the end of the video. But prior to that, we're going to give you all the pros and cons that I've found so far with this Grit Grips lower. As far as the relationship with me and Grit Grips goes, they haven't returned any of my emails. I got this on my own accord, and there's that. Also, as far as disclaimers go, I take prayer requests. So if you have any of those, don't hesitate to put those in the comment section below. I would love to pray for you. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. Last thing is going to be that there is a link in the description below if you want to help support the channel or save some things on some stuff. We'll just say that. Then you can go there. That's also where the Discord link is. If you want to join Discord, reach us with any of the socials, that's all there too. Now let's stop talking about all the administrative stuff and let's get to the actual video, which is going to be starting with the comparison side by side of these two lowers and why I specifically went with this over just some grip tape or some stickers on this particular lower. And now for the part that you all tuned in for, the difference between the OEM lower and the Grit Grips lower. Let's get into it. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Wha-bam! Here is the OEM Glock lower. As you can see, not much grip texture to speak of. There's technically these little squares, but they don't really do much. It's a little bit more aggressive back here, anemic on the side and anemic in the front. And then not only that, but you also have just spaces where there's no grip texture at all, including a big space right in this area, right here. I'm guessing that's for the people who want to do the teacup method and put their thumb there, or the people that still rest their thumb here and then put their whole hand over their thumb like that. I don't know why that's still a thing, but maybe that's why, I don't know. Either way, let's look at the Grit Grips grip texture. This is a really nice texture. It's not going to tear you up when you're carrying it, but somehow when you apply pressure to it, it actually grips really well. And that grip texture is all the way around the entire grip, which is super great, and goes all the way up here, which is also great. What I thought would be even greater would be if it continued here for the people who, kind of put their hand a little bit further forward as they're gripping. That would give them some texture in that area too. Also probably wouldn't give them slide lock, but it'd be nice to have that there. If you're, if you're already in the neighborhood, you might as well just swing on by this way and get some texture there. Also, I'm not a huge fan of this thing. I'd rather just have the grip texture all the way across. I'm sure this is a style choice. It's not one that I would make, but you do you, I guess. I don't know. It's still much better than the coverage that you get with this. Gross. Trigger guard. This is a boring Glock trigger guard. Lame. Let's talk about the other one. All right, so the Grit Grips. What is wrong with me? The Grit Grips lower has a double undercut, which is really nice. That's something you'd usually have to pay extra for if you went to a stippling place to get it stippled. And it allows you to get your hand way up high, so I don't have my pinky hanging off, which is nice. And it eliminates that Glock knuckle that you'd normally get with shooting traditional Glocks, as there'd be like a big bulging out down here right by your knuckle. So this feels really good. It's really comfortable. A+ on the double undercut from Grit Grips. But what about these butts? As you can see, there's a hole in this butt, and this one does not have a hole. Doesn't have a, I can't say it. I just can't say it. This is a family friendly channel. I can't do it. All right, so the problem with this one not having a hole is that the magazine well extensions are limited as far as which ones work well and which ones don't want to come off under recoil. So you're kind of limited to like the Radian option. They have a really smart design for this. The other Glocks, like the ones that aren't the 43X or the 48, they have a hole here, so there's a lot easier ways to attach a magazine well. This one does not have that, so you're kind of limited in options. The Grit Grips does have the hole here, but it's for specifically their magazine well. I'm not sure if other magazine well extensions will work with theirs, but I've heard theirs is pretty good. I would like to try it, so I might bug them and see if they can send me one in black, so I get that cool two-tone vibe with the black and the OD green, and I can test it with my 15-round OEM mags from Glock, just to make sure that those work in case anyone else is thinking about picking some of those up and wants to also potentially get some set up like this. All right, let's move on to the next thing. While we're back here, I'll show you the beaver tails. As you can see, this beaver tail on the Grit Grips is longer than the OEM beaver tail, and that is good if you've just got so much man meat on your fat hand and you're worried about that slide coming back and slashing you up because you just got it's just oozing over all that man meat. But if you don't have that issue, as I don't have that issue, I have size large hands. I wear size large mechanics gloves, in case you're wondering for frame of reference. I did not have any slide bite issue with this, but I also have kind of like skinny hands, if that makes sense. I don't have like really fat hands. I don't know if that helps at all for frame of reference, but I didn't have any slide bite issues with this one. The downside is, while this does solve a problem I don't have, it also is a little bit longer, so if you're bending over as your appendix carrying to pick up your kids or tie your shoes, this could potentially be a little bit pokier than the end of this one. So food for thought there. Grip angle. This Glock, if you didn't already know, is a 22-degree grip angle. Now let me know in the comment section if you know what the 1911 grip angle is. I'll give you a couple of seconds to type it in there. All right, no cheating. Okay, now, if you guessed correctly, you would have guessed or known the answer of 18 degrees. So this is an 18-degree grip angle, but how is that possible if the Glock magazine is a 22-degree magazine? Well, with this one, all they had to do is wrap around the magazine at the same grip angle, so that's why this one is a little bit skinnier on the sides here, you know, like this way is skinnier. This is a little bit wider right here, because they're basically having to put a 22-degree magazine in an 18-degree grip. So that's either a pro or a con for you, depending on how you feel about having that width there. If you prefer a skinnier grip like this, then you might want to go with just like a Chiral Defense back strap and change that grip angle. But that's not going to change the grip angle in the front. It's only going to change it in the back. So you're going to have a 18-degree in the back and a 22-degree in the front. Whereas this gives you 18 degrees in the front and the back, which is really nice. And it also gives you more surface area to put your support hand on than you have with this one. Not that it would matter with this one, because there's no grip texture to speak of anyway. Now, another potential con to this grip angle is that if you have other Glocks that have the 22-degree grip angle, you're going to have to change your presentation every time you switch from this to a regular Glock. But if you have more guns that have the 1911 grip angle, this is going to basically put your Glock in that same category of normal, natural presentation as you're drawing your gun, instead of having to drive it down like this every time you pull it out. Keep in mind though, once you switch to this lower from this one, you probably are going to have to train with that, otherwise you're going to be shooting low every time you pull it out. Ask me how I know. In case you guys were wanting to know about parts compatibility, all of the internals that I have in this lower came from this lower. So all of your OEM factory Glock parts are going to fit in here, at least with my sample size of 1. Everything that's in here came from this, with the exception of the magazine release button, and that's just because I thought if I ordered this with the lower that it would come pre-assembled. It did not. So if you are going to be ordering that from the website with this, just know that you're still going to have to install this. But everything, including this, is an OEM Glock factory part, so everything fit really well, nice and tight, clicked into place, no complaints there. Now let's see how these compare at the range, shall we? Start off the shooting comparison with the OEM Glock lower. This was really hard to hold on to with my support hand, and I'm not holding this gingerly. I am death gripping this with both hands to try to get it to be nice and flat shooting and repeatable. And you can see my whole hand is sliding off, not just my thumb moving, but the entire support hand is sliding off, and I'm constantly having to readjust. The nice thing about this grip is that because it is very skinny, I can hold it one-handed pretty well without my right hand or dominant hand sliding off. But as you can see, that lack of grip texture and lack of surface area is not doing any favors for my support hand. It is a slippery little sucker. Now let's try to shoot it fast to see how that goes. Yeah, constantly sliding. All right, now we'll see how this does in a series of build drills.
Well, yeah, but still, that's as you were doing that.
Not terrible, but also not fast. Now for the grit grips. The thumb ledge is doing nothing. While my thumb is moving off that ledge that isn't really doing anything, my actual support hand is given more surface area and is able to stay in one place. Getting more comfortable with this grip though, and I feel like my left hand isn't sliding. Is better. That feels much more better. Many more betters. All right, now we're gonna try a build drill with this new setup, see how fast we can shoot it. So for more ready, holster is coming soon. Well, technically A zone, but as far as where the target was I was aiming at, a little bit low. Let's work on that. Part of this is just getting used to the grip angle, because now I have a 1911 grip angle versus the 22-degree grip angle of the Glock. But it feels really good. All right, that was better. Let's check the targets, shall we? All right, so this one was just me shooting slow just to get used to the grip. This is me a little bit more dialed in on the grip. And then this was me trying to shoot fast in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all start dropping down here. This was my last run. So it was 1, 2, 3, at least 4, 5, 6, I think. So getting a little bit tighter, just getting used to this grip again. First time ever shooting this one. So yeah, let's shoot some more. I'm gonna aim for the center here. I'm just gonna get a Sharpie and make a circle. Circle! All right, let's try another build drill. This is for you, Bill. All right, I went way slower, but let's check that. All right, you can see it's all right in there. It's not terrible. Let's try shooting this one, because this one barely has any holes in it. So top right, I'll try that one. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Boop. All right, so still a little low, but getting a little bit better. Okay, let's do, I'm gonna aim at the top here. I'm gonna aim at the top 6. And this will be the last build grip, but not really, because we know 5 1. But it's okay. Boop. All right, well, I'm digging this so far. I think I just need to get better at shooting this gun. But as far as the grip, like, I didn't feel like it was coming out of my hand at all. So that was cool. Well, I'm still shooting a little low. I really got to get used to this grip angle again. I want to drive it down because I'm so used to shooting Glocks. All right, so back from the range, let's talk about some of the reasons why I went with this over, let's say, just putting stickers on this for extra grip, or stippling this, or even doing some type of goon tape type thing. Main reason is that for cost, this is going to be more expensive to stipple, and because this is the serialized part, you are going to have to send this off and transfer it to a place, or find a local place that can stipple. And you may or may not like the stippling job, and then you're kind of just stuck with it. The other reason is that this is going to be a Glock grip angle, because guess what? It is a Glock. But this is actually a 1911 grip angle, so this points a lot more naturally for me. This is also going to give me, because it is wider this way, more grip texture and more surface area for my support hand to be on, which is cool. And thirdly, I don't have to Cerakote this lower afterwards to get it green. I can just order this already in green, and it is already green, which is, if you've seen any of my channel, you know I spray paint guns all the time, but this, it just makes it so I don't have to do that, which is cool. So it just has an option of green, OD green specifically. The texture is also obviously improved over the regular 43X COA grip texture, because it actually has grip texture, but it's also not super abrasive when it's up against you, which is nice. Still is very grippy when you're holding it, which is a really cool combination of things that they did to the grip. I do wish that this had a little bit more texture here, but we'll get into that in the con section. Right now, we're just talking about the reasons why I want this over something else. So basically, the reasons I went with this instead of just doing modifications to this is that grip texture, grip angle, and color. Now, the double undercuts are cool. Some of the other features here are cool as well, but those are the main reasons. Now, let's get into the cons section of this video. Some people's favorite part. Hey there, you negative Nancys and Nellies. It's time for your favorite part of the video, the con section, where I talk about all the things that I don't like about this. First is going to be the most annoying con of all of the cons, and that is due to the government sticking its nose where it doesn't belong. And that is that if I were to want to take this and send it to a shop that does stippling that's not in my area and had to ship it, it's an FFL transfer. Same thing with this lower. Technically, according to the ATF, they consider this frame to be a firearm, so you have to pay a transfer fee from anywhere from like 20 bucks to $100+ to get this transferred to you from the internet through a licensed dealer that has an FFL. So that means that regardless of what this costs, there's going to be an additional cost depending on where you live and how generous or not generous your local FFL is and what they charge for their transfer fee. That's super lame. Also, let's talk about what this costs. This is going to be around $80 with the little button included but not installed, and less than that if you are not getting that button, because you know now from watching this video that they don't install it, so you might as well just use the one from your other frame. So that is going to be more expensive than just getting stickers or grip tape, but it's going to be less expensive than sending this out to get stippled. So there's that. Now this third con is going to be a con or a pro depending on what other guns you have. For me, this 1911 grip angle is supernatural and I really like it, and I have other guns with this grip angle, but also one of my main carry guns is going to be the Glock 45 MOS. And that is a Glock grip angle. So depending on what other guns you have besides this one, it may or may not be a pro or a con, because you're having to switch from a 1911 grip angle back to a Glock grip angle, depending on the season or what you decide to carry that day. Oh, also, if you want to know more about this one, click up here or up here for the full build series. Now let's go to the next thing. And lastly, and this is kind of nitpicky of me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's my channel. I can do whatever I want. Is that there's no grip texture right here, and there's no grip texture on the other side either. Now, this is not a problem if you're just shooting one-handed, but most people, in order to get better control of their carry gun while they're shooting, they're going to put their support hand on there. And I'd say a good 40% of my support hand is on the section that doesn't have any stippling or any texture at all, which is a problem for obvious reasons. So if they're going to be making a 2.0 version of this, then I think they know what they need to do. They need to finish the rest of the texture and put it here on both sides as well. Please and thank you, Grip Grips, if you're watching this portion of the video. All right, what do you say we test out these 15 rounders and then wrap things up? 15 round Glock mag. Click. Every time. All right, so far these are working really well. Beep. Okay. One more. Beep. All right, one more. Do we have enough for one more? No, we don't. Beep. Nice. And the reason this isn't locking back is because I ride the slide release always. All right, so there's our group with 3 build drills. Because I have the dot centered in the window, I'm actually aiming here, but I'm hitting here. So that's just a matter of how I have this zeroed. But there's our group at 7 yards. Well, that's going to do it for today's video on the 43X COA part 2 of the build series on the Grit Grips Lower. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. If you have any comments just to help the algorithm to get us out to more people, really appreciate those comments. And most importantly, prayer requests, if you have any of those, put those in the comment section. You can also click the link in the description, and that will take you to places where you can DM me privately with those prayer requests if you prefer that. But otherwise, yeah, I just want to say thank you to you guys for clicking those links and for liking the video, sharing the video, commenting. It really helps, and you guys are the reasons that I do these videos. I want to give you real information that's unfiltered so that you can make the right decisions with what you want to do as you're trying to build out something that could potentially save your life in a life or death situation. So if you appreciate that type of content and you want to become a better protector and you just want to know what's out there and just, you know, have a real person's opinions that's not paid by companies to say things, then consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay free, stay tuned to the build series, and God bless.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the
thinking I'm better.